Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from Parts Unknown. Ha ha. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I almost begged off tonight, put up some on my community page, said, "Oh, I'll see you Sunday," because I wanted to do a picture show, but man, it's a lot to get ready, and I would have got up really late. So I got in under the wire this evening. Hi, Finding Dory. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. So, Trump Judgment Day. Hey, Roberto. How are you doing? Trump Judgment Day. I just put Trump a judgment. So here we're stuck with the news organizations putting out, oh, Trump's uh, uh, friend got 4 months in jail, Peter Navarro. Oh, Trump got fined 83 million. Oh, Trump is guilty of this. Trump is guilty of that. Well, just remember, it's all a bunch of set up judges on the take, prosecutors being pulled out of the garbage pail and dusted off and pushed out there to do this kind of stuff to Mr. T. And we know it's foolishness that's going to get overturned. Then you know what narrative they're going to go with. You know that the Supreme Court's crooked, the whole world's crooked. You know, the new narrative they're starting off with now is that the border is Trump's fault. Trump doesn't want to see the border closed. And anybody that's been paying attention, see, their secret has been ever since 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, on and on and on and on, day after day, month after month, has been to inculcate disdain for Trump where people won't even to listen to what he has to say so they can set the narrative. Any moron that thinks Trump wants the border open and that can, with a straight face, blame Trump for the border situation is somebody that has fallen for that psyop, and maybe they'll be strong enough, intelligent enough to say, "Hey, wait a minute, you know this is a bunch of lies. This is not a credible way to conduct our affairs." And hey, that'll cut the lights on. I've said a lot of institutions are going to be ripped up by the roots and totally redone. So that includes some stuff we talked about last night. I'll get to that later on. Hi, Nikki, how you doing? Jersey Joe, Maryland. Hi, Robin, how you doing? B-Dog. Oh, did I say hi to B-Dog? No, I didn't. Hi, B-Dog, how you doing? Haha. So, Susie D, how you doing? We got Jersey Joe. Damon, how you doing? So, yeah, hit the thumbs up for me. Let the video get around. I'm up a little bit early tonight. Hi, Melinda. Yeah, Fanny is getting impeached. I've had her name in my title last couple of times. I got that copy of that article that they voted to go ahead and impeach her. And I got a response to some of the comments you all have been leaving me on my past videos. Somebody asked a question about, immunity. Trump was saying the president needs to have immunity. And Trump has said he's going to indemnify police officers. And people are asking questions like, nobody's going to have any accountability or what's going to go wrong. Well, that's not true. Fannie Willis, if she gets impeached and convicted in her impeachment, she will have to face the music. So immunity is an indemnification. There's a difference. When have you ever heard indemnify? That's a legal term. Sovereign immunity, qualified immunity, that's another term. There's other situations, but all of them pertain to actions that are taken during their performance of their duties and within the scope of their office. It doesn't include adultery, trip. You know, you can get court-martialed for adultery in the military. I had a friend that got court-martialed for adultery, and it happens. You know. Hey, so anyway, so you know, you got to really, when you listen to what Trump says, he says, "I'm going to indemnify police officers." As a discerning person, you should say, hey, that's a different word than immunity. And break out, like I said, next time you go to a thrift store, get you a 1962 Webster dictionary. Buy it. What do they charge, $1? You know, and look up the word and look up immunity, look up sovereign immunity, read it, think about it. You know, Trump's not going to sit there and give everybody an English lesson. You got to take his words, understand what they mean, and put it in the context of governing. That's just my suggestion. Oh, well, I got this thing here. I barely touched the phone, and it does crazy stuff. I don't know. So let me see. Hi, Debbie. How you doing? Oh, yeah, Canada, welcome Tucker, big time. Single songwriter, how are you? White Lightning, how you doing? Georgia, nice to see you. If I miss anybody, you know it's not intentional. So anyway, so Fannie is going to lose her sovereign immunity if she's impeached. And, hey, that's good news for the I mean, she stripped of her office, if that's the case. She no longer has protection. That's why Gerald Ford gave Richard Nixon a pardon after he left office. He wasn't impeached, but he left office. So, hi, Quilt. How you doing? Hi, Alan. Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you. So, anyway. So these judges that Trump are dealing with, they're crooked, they're bought off, they're either that or they are acting in what they kindly call an extrajudicial manner based on their philosophical or emotional beliefs. They're not behaving in a way that serves justice. And it's patently obvious, but the key is that they have set the narrative and reduced in the mind of these holdouts that hate Trump. They have reduced Trump, his credibility unjustifiably to the point where people won't even listen to what he has to say. But the point of the matter is that he was not given fair trials, that he was found guilty actually and in the minds of the finder of fact, air quotes, finder of fact, the jurists, finder, air quotes, that even before any defense was presented. And he was severely hobbled. Hi, Alan. How you doing? Lone Wolf. How you doing? He was severely hobbled in being able to present a defense. So any fair-minded person would be able to see that. But unfortunately, we're not dealing with fair-minded people. We're dealing with people who are think they're going along with the majority of the public. And we know that's not true. And it is hard for us to prove that with the ongoing shenanigans at the ballot box, right? You know, they think, oh, but everybody knows that everybody should know if they were presented with all facts, that it would be statistically impossible for Biden to have performed the way that he did. It is impossible. And he was known as 1% Joe in his past campaigns. And wow, he got this big historic victory. Common sense. Common sense. People have sacrificed the common sense for whatever reason on the altar of media BS. So, well, yeah, I'm sure the lawsuits will be flying. I think there's going to be so many. Trump is going to be one busy man. He's busy now, but he's going to be busy once he gains the presidency. He's worth billions. You know, I had an article where Fani Willis had some paid consultants. I got to pull that up. Paid consultants where she was trying to find out, what was it called? If I drop off, I will be back, folks. If I drop off, I'm going down here to try to find this article. Here we go. Oh, no, it's articles of impeachment. Articles of impeachment brought against DA Fani Willis in Georgia House. And the senator, the state senator that brought them said, I encourage my colleagues in the General Assembly to join me and impeach Fani Willis. No, I guess she'd be in the House and they would send it to the state Senate. So it's much like what happens in the federal government. And I've said that months and months ago, that these politicians going on TV and, you know, crying the blues and all this stuff, they have the power of impeachment. Like when Rick Perry got abused, in my mind, in Texas. I showed you all a governor of Texas, but the people don't remember it. It wasn't even reported that much. He was arrested. He was taken out of office, Rick Perry. You can look it up. Those prosecutors that went ahead with that should have been impeached by the House in Texas. And they just don't do it, but they better start doing it. And once we get verified elections, they're finished, because I can look at somebody today that voted for laws in my county and in my state that have damaged us very much. And if you have fair elections, you can make sure they don't get back in. But that's where they've cornered the market. Camperman, how you doing? Let's see. Governors are uniting. Yeah, hi Donna, how you doing? I heard it was 27 of them. Reba, how you doing? And hopefully it's more than that, because, you know, hey, they're going to jump on the bandwagon now. Now, the Biden administration, darting around, how you doing? Let's see. Biden administration gave them a deadline. A deadline of 24 hours. And that was, I guess, by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, they have to provide access to the areas that the feds want to get to. The Biden administration has given Texas a 24-hour deadline by tomorrow, and I believe that will be 9 a.m. So the thing about it is, they were very specific in what areas they wanted to access. And let me see if I can find, it's a boat ramp and that Eagle Pass Park area. So, with the Supreme Court decision, we don't know the details. Okay, we don't know if there's some kind of compromise here where their ability can be hampered because I don't know how long the Texas border is. It's long, but the feds do have the ability to let people in lawfully under certain circumstances, under certain circumstances. So, but this whole, what we're dealing with, what we're seeing now in this showdown is the unfettered, where there is under every circumstance, they're letting people in. So this ruling and this limited demand for access by tomorrow, we'll have to see how that pans out. I wouldn't be thinking, oh, civil war, everybody's talking about it. If there's going to be a civil, and then the other word is war, it's inside the government. Okay, I don't believe there's one going to be. There's one inside Washington, D.C. And yeah, I see that single songwriter. She has time to change her vote. Well, we can describe it as a vote, but it is really a legal opinion. So we don't know what the details. Remember, I pointed out how it was worded that they were stopping the feds from destroying property on Texas. Okay. Greg Abbott said that in his letter. He repeated it today, that we have a right to keep the feds from destroying our property. So it isn't a direct challenge officially written in the word that, we're stopping the feds from overseeing immigration. So, it sounds weird, but I didn't write that. This is a destruction of property issue. And that's the way it was put up to the Supreme Court. So no, I haven't read the legal opinions. And there's a reason nobody's really read them. I think this is a kind of a clarion call to get people to see what's going on with the border and to get people to take sides and understand how dire it is. Oh, Angela says the Border Patrol released a statement in support of the National Guard in Texas. Actors, let's see, Lone Wolf saying February 5th through 8th, $400. Oh, yeah, maybe they might have some crisis actors, because if they do use crisis actors and they do have a F and then the other letter is F and everybody knows what that means. To new people, I'm talking about a false and the second word is flag. The White Hats might do that themselves under certain circumstances for demonstrable purposes to say, look, if you don't do something about this border now, what you see during this show is what's going to happen. It could be. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, well, it's people staking a position. People staking a position, and that's what's got to happen. I mean, People need to be woken up, and this type of conflict or threat of conflict will get people's attention and get people to look at it that never have worried about it before. Oh yeah, MS Motorsports. Yeah, Abbott is going along. Now Trump put out a statement that he said all states should support Texas, and all states should carry out deportations. Well, he has always said that. So as we learned last night, because we have people with differing opinions coming on, and in this particular case, we got a heads up of what the narrative they want to push is. Remember in the chats last night, we heard it's Trump's fault. Trump is screwing up the deal. And I said, well, Trump is out of office. Trump is campaigning. Trump's sitting in court. They actually have the nerve to blame Trump for 50 years, a half a century of government budgetary problems and ridiculous border policies. Right now, that's the word they're putting out. It's Trump's fault. Well, because McConnell said so. McConnell said, well, hey, the bottom line is border security should be separate from anything else. That's not to be argued. We have to secure our borders. Don't tie in funding with Ukraine. Don't tie in whatever the screwball bills or gravy or pork. We'll secure the border if you give us $100 billion for Ukraine. No. That is one of the things that are going to be in the toilet as far as a practice, a government practice or a legislative practice. So a lot of things are going to be rewritten, and that's one of them. But that's how they put the narrative. Since Trump is saying what he's always said for years, secure the border. How can they twist it where people can, with a straight face, say it's Trump's fault if the government shuts down? How do they put that square peg in a round hole? But they keep trying to do it. Trump has always wanted the border to be properly controlled. The fact that they're putting Ukraine funding contingent on that is their fault. And we can't let them get away with it. We got to just say, the border and other spending, including Ukraine, are separate issues. And if somebody wants to join them together, they got to be called out on exposed. But see, the media is trying not to allow that. So that's why we get on YouTube. That's why we get on Meta. That's why we get on Twitter. But we got to know how to phrase it in a way that people with short attention spans will grab it. What does giving $100 billion to Ukraine have to do with border security in the U.S.? That's it. Very simple. And people start repeating that to themselves and seeing it more because the mainstream media sure in the hell isn't going to say it. So, Im, how you doing? Birchson, how you doing? Yeah, somebody somebody put a comment in under that video about the illegal that said, "You're going to find out who I am soon." Somebody who, I got to see who their name was. I can't. It was one I've never seen before. They actually, in the comment, if you go check the comments under that video, they said that they said the guy's name, who that guy was that said, "You're going to find out who I am soon." And they said he'd been arrested and served some time in jail. I think I got to look at the comment again. But I do read the comments, but I haven't had a chance to respond to them all. And I will. If you get a response from me sometimes a week after you make a comment. But supposedly this person knows who that character was that was making that menacing statement. Of course, Lone Wolf, that's why they waited 3 years to do all this crap with court dates with Mr. T. Hi, Roy, how you doing? Oh, he was a former Gitmo detainee. Yeah, what the hell is he doing wandering across the border? Gitmo's all rehabbed and expanded and ready to go. So, but I do want to say this, folks, for the ones who've been with me for a while, that I have said a number of times that I felt like a lot of this process is to remove Trump, and that he have clean hands if anything happens where the door is open to accuse him of what they're trying to accuse him of being a dictator. Like I said, first dictator I've ever seen that's out of office, first dictator I've ever seen that's being threatened with jail by the people that are in power. He's out of power and they're still calling him a dictator. So my point is, I said that I felt the military in some form or another would be charged with overseeing the election. Somebody would have to activate it or call it out. And I said that it would probably be the Biden administration, somebody. Biden is not going to be around. I mean, he's not going to be in office. I'm not saying he's going to cork off or anything. But somebody else is going to bring in the military. And like I said, their role will be more like preparing for a hurricane or after an event, a flood or something. They help. That is going to be the they're not going to come out to combat people. They're not going to come out to be grabbing people. Of course, if they are committing violence or looting or something like that. But no, they say, hey, we can help with the counting. We can help with oversee. We can help truck around equipment and stuff like that. And I think that is what's going to happen with this upcoming, I won't say election, because it could be delayed. It could be any number of things that could happen. But we will be put in a position where the people's voice will be heard. What was the two words Trump used? In a magnificent and righteous victory. Okay, that's what we've got coming. A magnificent and righteous victory. Your birthday's Sunday? Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're planning things around your birthday or not, Bertson. But what we want to do is preserve civility. Yeah, not make it look like a coup. And how can they blame Trump if he's not the one to call out the military, right? Hi, Gene. How you doing? That's right. Fear not. Be not afraid. It says it 365 times, I'm told. So anyway, so it is falling into place, and it is getting harder for people to maintain ridiculous narratives. There's a video out of Claire McCaskill. I believe she was on CNN, and she was saying, uh, it's Trump's fault that they can't get a deal on the border. Trump is the one. And it's like I said, when you hear that argument, you can say the things I've already discussed. Trump's out of office. Trump's always wanted the border secure. 48 months he was in government, 48 months, and everything's Trump's fault. The budget, the 15 million new immigrants, all right, on top of the 30 million. How can that all be his fault? 48 months he was in office, and these people been in there for over half a century, some of them, or 40 years, 50 years, 30 years. Look at Biden. Look at Nancy Pelosi. Look at Chuck Schumer. Look at Mitch McConnell. All of them have been in there for decades. So don't let anybody tell you any of this is Trump's fault. So that's an easy enough question answer to get. How can a 48-month person being in politics, being in office, how can all this stuff be his fault? Kicking Bird, your little town starting to ask questions. That's good. Yeah, Uniparty and NGOs. Yeah, I wouldn't go to the Bahamas for nothing. Marla, how you doing? So we got all these people coming under fire. And I don't know when Alvin Bragg is gonna. We haven't heard nothing out of him. But I'll tell you, somebody put a meme out. Now I got screenshots of them when I do a picture show. And I tell you, they really started honing their ability to shape the narrative under the Clinton administration. I'll get to that in a minute. But this meme has, they didn't believe Paula Jones. They got a picture of Bill Clinton with Paula Jones. They didn't believe Tara Reid. They got a picture of Biden and Tara Reid. But they believe E. Jean Carroll. I guess you all heard the news that this corrupt judge and handpicked bunch of nitwits on a so-called jury who should have all been taken psychological exams before they are allowed on the panel. They awarded, so-called awarded E. Jean Carroll 80-some million. She'll never see a penny of it. She'll never see a penny of it, and she's going to be the one paying out money. And that judge is not going to be on the bench. He sealed his future. Hi, Doug. How you doing? Let's see. Yeah. Well, I tell you what was really. I don't know if they really primed it for what happened with Trump with the impeachments. But when they impeached Bill Clinton, when that Paula Jones stuff came up, first of all that stuff should have been addressed. Whoops, watch what I'm touching here on the screen. Oh, okay, I got another follower on Truth Social. The Paula Jones and Monica Lewinsky thing shows you right there. If you ask anybody about the Clinton impeachment, 9 times out of 10, people are going to say it was because of Monica Lewinsky, the blue dress, and Clinton doing things in his office with Monica. And that's it. And they'll say, just because he fooled around with somebody, you shouldn't be impeached. No, that is a falsehood, a narrative that they had drilled in their heads. He committed a criminal act with Paula Jones when he was governor of Arkansas. Okay? He went into her workplace and dropped his pants. Okay? That was what he was getting sued over. Nothing. That's what he was getting impeached over. Okay? Remember I said, crimes of immoral turpitude. You can't be an attorney. You get convicted of that kind of stuff. What he did was criminal. And he should have been on an offenders list. An offenders list. You know what I'm talking about, S3 actual. But nobody, after the smoke cleared, nobody even cared about Paul Jones or what he did to her and many other women. They all, the repeated narrative was it was because he fooled around with Monica Lewinsky. So, yeah, that's right, Georgia. The media was told not to believe the women. Now we're all supposed to believe this nutty, crazy, perverted old bat. And that's my opinion. I think she's deficient, morally deficient. She's repugnant to my sensibilities. Okay? Repugnant. So anyway, but that was when you would be talking to somebody back in the day, and they would argue to their blue in the face and not even listen to you when you were saying, hey, it was your daughter or your wife or your sister working in some office in the state house or wherever she was. No, it was about Monica Lewinsky. So it was the Mockingbird media. It is the first, well, I won't say it's the first, but it's a good example, a verifiable example. And Trump has said before, Clinton's law license was suspended, and he lost almost $1 million. Of course, it was all picked up by donors. So, you know, maybe the history books will be properly written as to the criminality, and I'm talking of Clinton and the news agencies. The way they twist that narrative was criminal. Hi, Gary, how you doing? Trudeau's daddy, yeah. Angela. Trudeau, he's on the ropes because Tucker Carlson went over there, and man, the people went crazy. I mean, the people are yearning for this facade to come crumbling down. Hi, Doug, how you doing? This facade is crumbling down every day, more and more. So
CNN put up an electoral map. Did you all get to see that electoral map that CNN put up? Now, this plays into what Trump was hinting about push polls. And Frank Luntz was put on the hot seat for engaging in basically taking money to put up polls that were not accurate. Well, I think they're being made, to be honest. And this map is really red looking. CNN shows Trump with 272 electoral votes and Biden with 225. Toss-ups, holy cow, toss-ups electoral votes are 41, but you only need 270 to win. So the CNN electoral map is showing bright red, not toss-up, bright red for Trump right now. He would win the electoral vote. Even if Biden won every toss-up state, Trump would still win. Do you think they want to put that news out there? I don't think so. How you doing, Rick? Im, how you doing? No antagonists tonight, not yet. Never know when they'll dribble in. Listen, folks, don't get upset with people if they're not using dirty words or personally attacking people, and don't attack them personally either. We want people, let them say their stuff, because a lot of times it just shows the foolishness of their position. And what did I get to do? I found out yesterday that the new narrative is going to be, we heard it, I heard it first. I don't know if y'all heard it first or not here on this program, that they were going to blame Trump for messing up the border deal. The next day, today, Claire McCaskill comes out and said Trump is purposely trying to mess up the border deal. So, a lot of times these characters get on these far left sites that telegraph the new narrative. They telegraph it. And then if they want to come into our chats and let us know what they're up to, fine. All you got to do is if you don't like what they say, just put a puke face up and keep on going. Don't even respond to it. Don't even read it if you want to. But I like let them know how ridiculous their positions are. And one thing we did get out of them is the statement, something has to be done about the border. That was from our antagonist, right? What do we usually hear from far left liberals? They're poor people who need our help, and we're supposed to be nice and let them in. The narrative is changing. They can't go with that anymore. Now they're saying, yeah, something's got to be done about the border, but Trump is the reason it's screwed up and we can't do anything about the border. So, hey, we're making progress, right? Because nobody will, in the right mind, will say that the border is okay the way things are going. So we made progress. So let's see. Yeah, he does change the narrative, and we'll work it out to where the rules of the chats. And if they talk about something totally off narrative, I just won't acknowledge it, or I'll just tell them we'll worry about that some other time. But hey, we got to practice what we preach. If people are, if we have freedom of speech, somebody can say something to me, and if I don't agree with it, I don't have to respond. I can just say, whatever. Hey, I gotta go. Look at the time, or just tell them they're you're wrong. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better, but you're talking like you have a fever. So I don't gotta let people upset me. They upset me as much as I want them to. Morning clowns. That's right, Maryland. Ha ha ha. Whoa, hang on a second. Somebody bought me coffees. Whose name is it? Somebody bought me coffees. No name. So if you want to be anonymous, I understand. If not, if you do want them to know who you are, put some booms in the. Nikki, can you put some booms for someone who went by buy me a coffee? I have a link. Not a link. I don't have a link. I keep saying that. I have a buy me a coffee. You go to buymeacoffee.com, enter Mountain Man, and hey, you can help out. Boom, man. That's who I thought it was, Gary. So Nikki can boom, boom, Jersey Joe and Nikki, boom, boom, simultaneously. Holy cow, it's artillery going on there. Cameraman, you better duck, Gary. All those booms coming your way. So I appreciate it. So yeah, I think he was a Bernie bro, and that hurts your brain, and it takes a long time to get over it when your brain gets injured through communism. So we got to understand he's got a wounded brain. I got a video clip, very short video clip. You remember how I said that they were paying people? They would reach out to people who they thought would put out their narrative, and they say, look, you do this, this, and this, and put it on YouTube. We'll pay you whatever, 300, 500, some people $1,000. I found one that's about 30 seconds long. It's a riot, and he's serious. Maybe he's not getting paid. Maybe it is his beliefs, but I've saved that for y'all when I do a picture show. And I put in the comments, get well soon. Get well soon. And they took it down. They took my comment down, and nobody made any comments on the video. How you doing, Ivan? So anyway, so we're getting, as I said, a number of programs back. We're getting to the point where we can start mocking them. And sometimes I do get bristled up. I get my hackles up when I let my mind go to unfortunately irreparable damage that's being done to young people. That is my Achilles heel from me going to a nice guy who is trying to reach out to people, to an angry person who would put a knot on somebody's head. So I got to be careful with that. But the thing is I've got to find ways to inculcate that notion in people's heads. If the economy doesn't bother them, if the money to Ukraine doesn't bother them, this, that, wait a minute. Can a child's future being destroyed bother you? That's the way I need to reach out to people. A child being approached by someone who discusses things with them that disturb them psychologically and can do damage to them that's irreparable. I was watching, it's kind of a knockoff of the Chris Hansen stuff, To Catch a Pre-Editor, right? And it's a shame I got to talk that way, but I got to watch the rhythm. And a female investigator was sitting. That I think they took him into a trailer or a back room or something after they got caught. And you know the drill. You know, they go online and they think they're talking to a 13-year-old, and this was it was 12 or 13, and they got him, and they get on the ground, you weirdo. They get him and they lock him up, and they bring him back, and they get interviewed by an investigator. And one of the things is the guy was saying, I didn't know. They always never know. I didn't know. Well, here it is in your chat. You said, oh, I got to be careful because I don't want to get in trouble for being with a 13-year-old. That's you, right? You said that, right? Well, I did. I wasn't going to. Then they go to, I wasn't really going to do anything. I was just coming here to warn her, you know, to watch out for people that could hurt them. I was trying to be their friend. And then the investigator, okay, then why did you send this picture? And their face goes white. They go, You know, we can see if this is actually you. And you all know what I'm talking about. They sent a picture of their privacies. And this female investigator said, you want to admit it, or are we going to have to verify it another way? And they go, yes, I did. I sent the picture. And they go, okay, well, you already did something. Don't sit here and tell us you weren't going to do anything. You already did something. And my point was, the investigator said, do you know what it does to a 13-year-old mind to be exposed to that type of visual? That it damages them for the rest of their life. It affects them in a negative way. And hey, that goes right down to many things that I think are going to change. We're going to have an internet bill of rights, but we're also going to have, nobody's anonymous on the internet. If they really want to know who you are, then they'll find out. But this business of people, you know, sending stuff out like that, especially to young people or platforms young people have access to, is going to be greatly cut back. I mean, we're going to get back to standards is what we need. Standards. Oh, 17 audio tapes. You crying, or you Crizzle. Did that just come out of story? I'm trying to use my memory banks. I know that a lot of dirt when it blows out about audio tapes. We know I played Joe Biden talking about telling the president of Ukraine to get the money squared away, and he threatened him. He said, you know, for your own personal well-being, you better sweep this under the rug before Trump gets wind of it. I played that before, but I think the labs, the LABs, are going to come out. Burisma. Okay. Yeah. That's the gas company. You know, there's going to be a little something for everybody to get everybody's attention. The stealing the gas money, threatening the president of Ukraine, attempting to assassinate the prosecutor. Not only did they want him fired, they tried to poison him. And Rudy Giuliani's got proof of that. But the BIO and then LABS is going to be the one that's going to cause people to swing, if you know what I mean. Money crimes, corrupt corporations, all that stuff is one thing. But gain of function, right? And BIOLABSs are what's going to cause people to suffer the ultimate penalty, because that's going to be multiple countries, okay, that are going to have a bone to pick with certain individuals who have been pushing those illnesses, right, and so-called cures. Yeah, I got a memory bank. What's left of it. So it's the Burisma. I guess I could say that word without getting in trouble. But one thing I got in my studio, I was just looking. The narrative of Trump screwing up the budget deal and the border, trying to blame the border crisis on Trump. They had Mitt Romney sitting there with a picture of Mitt Romney looking all mad and upset. And they come out and say, that's where they come out and say, Trump is to blame for the border and for the budget crisis. And Mitt Romney's son is thick as thieves with Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi's son. You got Mitt Romney's son in with Burisma and that Ukraine energy companies. They're all like worms in a clump of dirt. And that's going to come out. Where is that daggone? It jumped out on me. Jumped out of the queue. Oh, gosh, I said that letter. Now, Stephen Miller put out a tweet, and I'll take it for my picture show, but I'll read it to you. He came out with something that's going to be hard for liberals to argue. Biden has led a deadly insurrection on the border for 3 years, consecutive years, and is therefore ineligible under the 14th Amendment and should be disqualified accordingly. No, what's not right about that? Now, I want to ask y'all if you remember, and if I ever get an hour, I'm going to see if I can find it. Remember when Biden was going to the Democrat debates, right? I don't remember the Democrats that were running. I think Claire McCaskill was one of them. Kamala Harris was another one. Biden was another. Remember, they were all lined up on the stage. Biden said, plump and plain, I'm going to be a one-term president. He said, that's my intentions. I'm only going to serve one term. I'm going to serve as a bridge. That's what he said. That's what I remember him saying. And if I can find that clip, but it takes you got to go through those damn debates. They got them all on, but they're for hours and it's all crap. But you got to do that to get to that 1 20-second point that you can get a clip out of it. And maybe somebody sharper than me or more resources or got some employees when they put their videos up that can help them might come out with it before me. But remember, I reminded whoever is listening that Biden did say it in 2020. During the Democrat debates, he was looking at Kamala Harris. After Kamala Harris said, I was a little girl on the bus that you tried to keep off the bus. It was right after that, the debate after that, where he said, I'm going to be a transitional president. I'm only going to serve one term. Now, that being said, what did I see reported today? I just don't know when he's going to go. We've all seen reports about Michelle Obama is now coming out of the shadows. But Biden said, let's see if I can find it. He spoke up with that old wrinkled yap of his. Here we go. Biden tells crowd 2024 is, quote, last year of his administration. This came out today, folks. So what we've been discussing and thinking about is coming to fruition about there being another candidate and Biden not being in the running. Trump has come flat out and said he doesn't think that Biden will make it. That he will make it. And he said it way before this. The president appeared to forget that he was running for re-election and could serve another term if he wins in November. No, he didn't forget. He remembers. He remembers what he said in 2020 during the Democrat debate. And Trump said he wasn't going to make it. And we all know Trump is right every daggone time. So what they'll do, and what I thought was the strategy, this isn't a new notion for me, that they would find a way to get him out. We've heard that Obama expressed a desire to see Joe go during a private luncheon. That was only a month ago. What they're going to do is secure the nomination. All the primaries are in the past. Then something's going to happen. And then they're going to install somebody else. And what is wild to me is that this Claire McCaskill is coming out. That's the second video I've seen her giving interviews, and it reminded me, do you know how Claire McCaskill got in office? Her husband, after the election, or just before the election, his plane crashed and he perished. They just put her up. No experience. Nobody knew her from a stack of wood. And she became a senator. Same strategy, same method. Not to say Biden's going to go perish in a plane crash, but he could. I had a stroke. I failed a cognitive test. Or who knows? I got a heart condition. I can't take the stress. The doctor said I got to step aside. Oh, okay. Well, could be Jill Biden for all I know. So, yeah, all the signs are pointing, but it's going to be, Michelle is going to be in there. I don't know when. They could throw a curveball and say, oh, well, we'll put in Kamala. And then, but hey, I think the end game is going to be Michelle, and I wouldn't be surprised if the evil one herself, if the Queen of Evil is involved in some way or another actually holding office. I'm talking about Hillary Dillery Do. So this is Newsmax. Dick Morris says, now he used to be a Clinton right-hand man. Dick Morris, the only person that can possibly stop Donald Trump from winning a second term as president is former First Lady Michelle Obama. And then the opinion page says, is Michelle Obama a threat to Donald Trump? So that came out today. And you're right, Gary, there may not be a 2024 election. Yeah, I got to get some of my coffee. That's right. Wet my whistle. I sit here babble for over an hour. I got to get a sip of coffee once in a while. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine that? John, welcome aboard, John. You got to use a 1 for I on that GITMO. Got to use 1 for I, John. Welcome aboard. You know we can't talk the way we want to on this platform. You got to be slick about it. Use letters for vowels on tricky words, right? Tricky words. Well, we've got to see, I think, in the interests of civility, and so there's not a breakdown of society. They have to have some type of selection, I think, because then this would be a tinderbox. I mean, people would get very distraught. And how can you have one even if it's late? But how can you have one and keep them? Because Trump has said, we're not going to allow them to cheat. We're not going to allow them to cheat. Well, we've been told over and over, the only way is the military. And that goes back to my theory, my thesis, that the military will be called out by somebody other than Trump, so he cannot be labeled a dictator or staging a coup, and that they will come as a rescuer, a helper, and maintain order. We got to have law and order instead of chaos. I don't know how we could not have an election without chaos. If they said, we're not going to have an election, I don't know how you would avoid chaos. And as I've said, I look at it like, what if I were responsible for this awakening? Like I had the whole game board in front of me, and I'm making moves during this psychological, this is a warfare campaign. This is not an election coming up. This is one of the battles in the illegal, responding to illegal psychological warfare campaigns. Trump has said it that plump and plain. You don't have a warfare campaign without a war. So we are in a war right now. As many people have said, the war is real. So if I was responsible for an outcome that would prevent human suffering and restore the Constitution, that's what's going to happen. Constitutional order, law and order has to be restored, because we're not living under the Constitution right now. That's obvious by these trials and tribulations that Trump has been through, that the world has seen, that no country will openly profess to say, besides North Korea, China, or really hardcore dictatorships, no country politician would dare to say Trump was being treated fairly. Nobody. So we're not under a constitutional republic right now. How do we restore a constitutional republic with the least human suffering? Especially when we know that they have control of not only the media, which is their most powerful weapon, but they have access to things that can cause a lot of damage. But I think that's been taken care of. I think that is put under wraps. Knock on wood. That's me knocking on wood. Single songwriter says the only way is for them to create war and issue martial law, which suspends elections indefinitely. That's a thought. Oh, okay. Some activations in the military in Florida. Well, Ron DeSantis didn't skip a beat. He came out with a statement. Constitution. This is his tweet. He X'd out. I got to get used to saying that instead of saying tweet. That is X. He put out on X. If the Constitution really made states powerless to defend themselves against an invasion, it wouldn't have been ratified in the first place, and Texas would have never joined the Union when it did. Texas is upholding the law while Biden is flouting it. Florida will keep assisting Texas with personnel and assets. So they are sending troops down there. So we shall see. But anyway, we'll see what happens. The deadline, supposedly, from what I was reading, the Biden deadline to Abbott. Let me see if I got a screenshot of the article. Is, I believe, 9:00 tomorrow. Did you all hear when that deadline expires? Oh my! I don't think I have the time, but I think it's 9 a.m. in the morning. Biden administration said we want access to a boat ramp, and I think 3 other specific sites, or else. And I don't know what that means. Well, you're right. What about EO 13848? Diane says you're right. What about? There's so many. Well, there's people that are a lot smarter than me working on it, and we know laws have been pre-lifted. Now, you know, Nikki's got to get up early in the morning, don't you, Nikki? She unfortunately has got another service to go to, and we want her to be safe and get enough sleep, right, Nikki? That's right, Gary. The pharaohs of old realized that the many outweighed the few. We are the many. And that reminds me of Stalin. Somebody said, the tanks we make are so inferior, we can make 10 times more tanks, but they're not as good as the tanks the Germans have. We're good at quantity, but not quality. And Stalin said, quantity has its own quality. So yeah, quantity has its own quality, and we do outnumber, and that's the thing we've got to impress upon. And it's hard to be nice to people who think like fools. But we've got to let them know that we are the elites. Trump has been saying that it's our country. It doesn't belong to the bureaucrats. We're reclaiming it, and no matter how the media portrays it, the vast majority of Americans are not happy the way this country is going. Know the election had been stolen. Know that we need to secure the border, and do not want their children abused. Okay, period. There's no those things I just enumerated. Anyone who thinks that's not true is a fool. Any of those things I just said. So we got to keep pounding it in their heads, folks. That's right, John. Brunson Brothers in the background. Executive Order 13848. Oh, the shot heard around the world. I don't know. There's so many different things, but we have to understand that we've got good people who've taken an oath, and this whole thing has been laid out an operation that they've been dealing with for years. Trump didn't just fall out of the sky and say, gee, I want to be president. No, this stuff was laid out a long time ago. That's right, Rick. They're trying to keep Tucker out of the news. That's okay. It's the Barbara Streisand effect. The Streisand effect. You try to hide something from somebody, they're going to, what do they not want me to see? He'll be more popular than ever. Let him keep doing it. All right, folks. Well, we got to let Nikki get some rest. And I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I go live. And I want to thank Gary for helping support tonight's broadcast. And I want to thank Christopher last night for helping support last night's broadcast, and everybody that's helped me in the past, even if it's just giving me a thumbs up. That helps the video get around. So remember, when you tune out tonight, if you hadn't done it, pop that thumbs up button. If you think I need to go soak my head, give me a thumbs down. Okay, it's a free country. Do what you want to do. All right, folks. I appreciate everything. You all have a great night. If something big happens, I'll be up. But if not, Sunday or Monday. I mean, if you're subscribed, you'll know. Ha ha ha. Y'all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.